how do I pitch myself directly to Netflix or Hulu or for some specific show on ABC or whatever? So I'm going to show you a video from Margot Robbie right now. Let's watch this, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain some things that you need to know.
You were one of those actors, you didn't wait for the phone to ring.
Banging down doors. I called Fremantle Media like every day until someone made a mistake and put me through to the casting agent for Neighbours. That's how I got my audition. I just kept calling them. And then one time someone foolishly let me through, and I spoke to Jen Russ and said, I'm in town working on something, a half-truth. And she was like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 17. And she was like, oh, we need a 17-year-old girl right now. Come in for an audition next week.
There you
Wow.
go.
What if I don't want to give my permission? I still do it. I still write to people that I want to work with, and I was working at Subway at that time. I felt so vindicated quitting. I was like, I got a job on Neighbours. I have to hand in.
I'm now an actor.
Yes.
Like in America.
Okay, wasn't that great? So as you heard from Margot Robbie, she pitched herself on the phone and she did not give up. She kept calling and calling and calling till someone picked up and put her through, right? That's how she got her first major job, which led her to Martin Scorsese and on and on and on to be Oscar nominated. Okay, so the first question that people always ask me is, aren't I going to get in trouble for that? I heard you're going to get in trouble for that. Will you get in trouble some of the times? Yes, but I had a mentor tell me once, if you're not getting in trouble, then you're probably not doing enough. I mean, even when Margot Robbie went in to pitch Barbie and she told people that it was going to make $1 billion, people laughed at her. Right? But she kept saying it and she kept fighting for it. The point is not to give up. If I told you today that there was $1 million buried in your apartment or your house, you would be ripping up the floorboards and the carpet and everything else just to find that $1 million. But if I tell you that by going for what you want, if you just keep consistent and keep at it, that you'll get what you want, you tend to sit back and go, yeah, but I heard you're not supposed to do that. It's all about luck. That's what I've heard. Most actors don't make it. Yeah, most actors don't make it because they don't understand that they're an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur's number one activity is to bring cash in the door. And by pitching yourself to companies that are going to actually write you a check to act, you are working on bringing stuff in the door. Now, does an agent do that for you? Yes, but if you're waiting for an agent to do that, you're going to be waiting a very long time. You are in charge of your acting career. You are the CEO, not your agent, not your manager, not your mom, not your dad. As long as you are paying for your acting career, headshots, acting class, business of acting coach, self-tape equipment, whatever you're paying for it. So you're the boss. And it's your job to bring more money in the door. And then eventually you get an agent to help with that, right? But you didn't hear Margot talking about her agent at all in that clip, did you? Right? Just remember that, okay? All right, the second thing people always ask me is, what do I say? How do I talk about myself? Well, the first thing is you have to be very clear about what the ask is, right? She was asking for an audition. That's what she was doing. Now, other things that you probably should have prepared besides the ask and knowing clearly why you're calling is you also need to know about how to talk about yourself as a product. If she asks, if the casting director or the director says, well, what are you like? Then you need to have an answer for that, right? So mine is, I'm a buoyant, ballsy broad who will take you through the funhouse. I'm a cross between Kathy Bates and Drew Barrymore. I tend to play that woman that lives across the street from you. When you see me coming, you turn off your lights and pretend like you're not home. A Karen. And by the way, there's a Karen right now in every sitcom, which I know that because I've auditioned for them. So you have to be able to talk about yourself as a product so they get you on the other end, okay? The next thing people always ask me is, how do I find their information to email or call or write a letter, right? How do I find that information? Well, there's a lot of ways to find that information. There's a couple of things. There's one called Rocket Reach, and there's another thing called IO Hunter. There's also IMDb Pro. There's also Google, right? And try them all until you find the person. And remember this, you're probably not going to find Viola Davis's number, but she has a production company, Juvie Productions. So if you look that up on IMDb Pro, you're going to look down and eventually you're going to find someone that works for her with an email and a way to get to them. So you don't have to go for the queen. You can go for someone underneath the queen. The other thing I really want to make sure that you understand is that if you're sending a pitch video and you're not calling, both pitch videos and calling work the best. They work better than just an email. But if you're sending a pitch video, you want to make sure that it's embedded in your email, because people are not going to click a link, y'all. They're going to click a picture of you with an arrow in the middle. And the best way to embed your pitch in an email is probably Vimeo, but there's a lot of different ways where you can do that. Just make sure you do that. Okay, so make a list of the people that you want to put yourself out there to, that you're most right for, right? That your product matches. So when I first went to LA, I knew that I was funny, and I knew most likely my best customer was Disney. So that's where I started. I made a pitch video for Disney. I put together a packet. I walked it into Disney TV. I figured out a way to get to the 14th floor. I dropped my stuff off to the head of casting. And within a year, I had a recurring guest on a Disney series, and it lasted for 5 years. So I have a lot of evidence that pitching yourself works. And I know you heard that from Margot Robbie. So I want to say to you, be like Margot Robbie. You guys, be that person that you want to become. Figure out a way to step into that person. I hope this helps. And listen, if you need more help, there's an actor bundle in the description, which includes how to set up your brand, just like I just showed you for myself, how to get a great headshot, and how to get, keep, or fire an agent. All of those things will help you. You can download them for free, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, bye.